NFL Commissioner Goodell, you just heard him saying the league won't tolerate racism and discrimination, and the NFL will deal with any allegations in a, quote, very serious way if they find it. What's your reaction?
Yeah, I think Roger, like his hands are tied, honestly, in this situation. If you look at the league office, like the hires that Roger has control over, like the diversity is pretty good. There are plenty of women executives and men and black men and former players. But the problem is that once you go out to the teams, the owners have the power. And I think often we talk about it as if it's some sort of institutional or systemic problem, which we've been calling it that for a long time. And I think that gave the owners cover, but it doesn't seem like it's systemic or institutional. It feels individual because the opportunity to hire black coaches has been there. It's there every year. There are plenty of black coaches in the pipeline to like successful coordinators. Eric Bieniemy comes to mind as someone who held the offensive coordinator job at Kansas City, a job that was held by two men previous to him. Both of those got head coaching jobs. Eric Bieniemy, his numbers and statistics have been better than both of those guys, still doesn't have a job. And the owner's also willing to go outside of the traditional pipeline to hire white coaches. I think of like Joe Judge, Cliff Kingsbury, Brandon Staley. Josh McCown is someone who's been a finalist for many of these jobs that have very little coaching experience. So I think we have to be honest about what the problem is. And the problem isn't the system or the institutions. It feels like the problem is biases that are inside the people who make the decisions and who have the ultimate power. We can't blame Roger for this. Roger's doing as much as he can. The people that are above him, the guys who own the teams, have to confront themselves and confront the way that they view the candidates out there and make honest choices, not the choices that are skewed by their own biases.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a good point that we all like to think of Roger Goodell as being in charge, but he's not really in charge. And all he can do, he can't make anybody who's a team owner not be racist, right? I mean, he has no power.
Yeah.
He can't say, hey, billionaire number 5, stop being a racist.
Yeah, they elected him. Like he works for them. He needs to keep them happy. It's not the other way around. Like he does not have the power over them. They come to him to do things like he did today, which is why one of my points, or one of the most important things to me, is that we take these questions to the ownership. Because Roger's job, part of his job, is to stand up there and us to ridicule him and judge him for the problems in the NFL. In this case, for the issues of racial bias in the NFL. He takes these arrows while the owners can stand in the background and continue to kind of mistreat the candidates that are out there and bring guys in like David Culley and not give him a full chance down in Houston before you fire him. The same thing happened in Arizona with Steve Wilkes. Other black coaches get these opportunities that aren't true opportunities. So I think Roger is doing the best he can. I think of all the people in the NFL, Roger's one of them who wants this to be different. But you can't go into the heads, the hearts, and the minds of the people making the decisions and make them for them. So I'm not sure. Maybe it is something that it's unconscious. Maybe they don't know that they have these biases, but the numbers certainly kind of pan out that the biases exist and they need to address them.